Hello and welcome to Blank Plate, a podcast for Swifties with an appetite. I'm Sara, and I used to be a little kid with glasses in a twin-size bed. My co-host, Laura, is a mess, but she's the mess that she wanted because she's currently on maternity leave. So today I'm here with a special guest to chat about all things Taylor Swift. I'm here today with Brittany, who is an avid reader, has 2 Frenchies and a cat, and a baby who will be here very soon. So Brittany, welcome to Blank Plate.
Hi, Sara. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to do this as an avid listener.
That's right. I think you're like the only guest that we've done here who's an actual regular listener of the podcast.
No, I have so much respect for what you guys do, and it's so much fun. I usually listen as I'm cleaning my house, actually. It works out very well for me.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I do love a good podcast cleaning session for sure. Okay, so your first question is, what is your tagline?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this a lot, and I had to pick a song, or I had to pick Paris, because Paris is probably my favorite city I've ever been to. I know it's cliche and I don't care. So I said, I'm Brittany, and no, I didn't see the news because we were somewhere else.
Oh, nice. I really like that, especially in today's world.
And whenever I travel, I really do try and put my phone away to be very present in the moment, other than taking photos. But just not think about what all is going on in the world. It's a luxury and a privilege, but it's certainly great for your mental health. Highly recommend.
Yeah, that sounds great. And so to explain how we know each other, we basically met through like Josh's work and like the Lehigh Valley political scene, And when we met, we connected right away about being Swifties. And then I think I like offhandedly was like, oh yeah, I actually have a Taylor Swift podcast. And then the next time,
I think Josh told me that you have. He's like, oh, you like Taylor Swift? It's like, Sara has a podcast.
Yeah, maybe that was it. And then he called me over and he was like, hey, talk to Brittany about Taylor Swift. And then we went a few months without seeing each other. And then the next time I saw you, you were like, hey, I've been listening to the podcast and I heard you're doing IVF. And so then we bonded over infertility struggles and stuff. And, so that was great.
No, and we're both Lehigh Valley transplants. So lots of connections.
From the central PA area.
Yes. Moved here for our husbands. Which.
What were we thinking?
I know. At least that led us to each other. And just, being able to bond over something fun and then also something serious, I think makes for a good friendship start.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've definitely been one of the people who's been so valuable to me going through this, because nothing hits like a friend who is also doing IVF and everything. You need someone that you can get nerdy about the medications and the morning monitoring appointments and all the different tests you can get done, all that stuff.
And the pain of progesterone oil shots and trauma bonding at its finest.
Yeah, somebody who knows the difference between an embryo and an egg is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's how we know each other. So about you, we got to hear your Swiftie origin story. How did you come to this land of Swiftiedom? Yeah.
So I would have considered myself, for lack of a better term, a fair weather Swiftie, probably until midnight. Okay. I started listening to I loved Debut. Our song, I probably have played more than any other song in the world. I loved that song. I would say the whole album, but at that point in my life, I was, 14, 15. I wasn't really listening to a whole album at a time. But any song that I heard from it, I was like, oh, I really, really like this. And then continued with buying, the folklore or folklore, the Fearless album, Speak Now. And then I went to college and like all kids that go to college, I just wanted to be cool.
Yeah.
And being a Swiftie wasn't really cool. So it was something I kind of did kind of private. But like my friends at the time were listening to like Bruce Springsteen, right? And
Oh,
I just
okay.
wasn't on that level of, of
Yeah.
music. So I listened as things came out. And then I didn't love Reputation's like singles, I guess is, and I kind
Okay.
of like fell off.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wish I wouldn't have because Lover's probably one of my favorite albums. And now that I've given Reputation a chance, it's
Uh-huh.
definitely one of my favorite albums. I think the the singles from Reputation are probably my least favorite songs on that album, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But then time goes by, the pandemic happens. I'm listening to
Mm-hmm.
folklore while I'm cooking in my kitchen. And really, when Midnights came around, I was like, no, I'm in it. I'm so in this. Whether or not I was by myself and, forcing my Frenchies to listen along. um,
Yeah.
but now I would say I'm definitely a certified Swiftie. I don't think anybody could say otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I'm definitely not as knowledgeable as you and Laura, which is why I love listening to you. But I'm more acclimated, more knowledgeable than the average person for sure.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Before we get into all the questions, we got to talk real quick about the wedding because, okay, so we're recording this like 2 weeks before it comes out. So today is Tuesday, July 7th. We still have not seen any official photos,
Yes.
unfortunately. But, details have come out. So, like, what are your thoughts? What do you think?
I actually think that the fact that they were able to pull this off, and I know MSG was leaked, but I think they did that. I think that Tree probably
Mm,
leaked
yeah.
the fact that it was going to be at MSG just shows how respected Taylor is and how much people wanted to
Mm,
participate in this wedding and be there
hmm.
because I don't think anybody else could have pulled this off.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just so happy for her. What little I know, like think is great. The guest list is definitely interesting, but our
Yeah.
girl knows what she's doing. She invited people she wanted to be there, and she told us all she was going to have a big wedding. It's not like she didn't.
Yeah.
But I am so excited to see the photos. It's the
Hmm.
other little piece I will add is that I think Jonathan Anderson is a phenomenal designer. Like the fact that I don't even think that that would have been what I would have thought she would have went with, but it was the perfect pick. So
Hmm.
I'm not worried about the dress. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she looks stunning. I mean, she just looks happier than she's ever looked, I feel like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think that, like, when it first came out, the rumor that MSG was the location, it definitely seemed weird, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh, I hope not." But then when I heard someone say that it kinda makes sense because you can't have any drones flying over and getting photos, and there's a lot of ways with, like, underground tunnels and whatever to have privacy of, like, guests going in and out and for safety. And now, like, even now that it's happened, it's like, okay, she had a huge, enormous A-list event in a city that has huge A-list events all
Hmm.
the time. So it's a city that can handle it. A lot of people are local to New York City anyway, or travel there all the time for whatever work that they do. So yeah, I think like in hindsight, it actually makes perfect sense
Agreed.
that they got married there. But yeah, I cannot wait to see whatever they did to the inside to make it look like this like magical garden that it has been described as. And yeah, I just want to see the photos. I want to hear more. I want to hear about the vows.
Yeah.
I did hear she had a videographer, which of course she would. So, like, are we going to get like a video? Are we going to get a video?
I would love something. I know that they said that there isn't a documentary, which I don't blame them for doing. I think it's
Uh-huh.
probably special and intimate, and the last thing you want is for it to seem like work on your wedding day.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. Um
Yeah.
I'm sure it was beautiful. Everything that's come out has been everybody's been so complimentary of it all. So I'm sure it was
Yeah.
lovely. Just wish we could have been there.
I know. My dream would be, and I did hear, I don't know if this is true or not, that Taylor may or may not have sang during part of her vows. And knowing Taylor, like, she probably wrote a song for the occasion. So my dream would be that she releases some kind of wedding song as a single, and the music video is their wedding video. That's what I would love.
That is a great prediction, and I'm totally on board. Let's make it
Yeah.
happen.
Oh, we can dream, we can dream. But I'm sure by the time our episode is out, we will have photos.
Yeah, the designer said, like Dior said, they will explain the dress once Taylor has posted the
Yeah.
photos, which to me means she's
And I
posting
think he
photos.
even said on her personal Instagram, he was like, I just don't know when she's doing that.
Yeah.
So, and I think it does make sense because that's what they did with their engagement photos, where it's not like they were like an exclusive look, for People magazine or whatever. Like, yeah, just share it on your own socials. Why would you give that satisfaction to anyone else but yourself?
Yeah, she doesn't need the cloud of Vogue. Not that I wouldn't love a Vogue spread if they wanted to do
Yeah.
one, but
Right.
she doesn't need that. So whatever's on her own terms that makes her happy, I think, hey, I'll
Mhm.
be happy to take whatever.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Getting into your questions. Starting off with, what are your Sun, Moon, and Rising albums?
Yes. So I took this as what I'm an Aries Libra.
Okay.
So the Red album is the Aries album. It's
Okay.
fiery.
Yeah.
It's not afraid. It's very like out there, right? It's telling everything versus I do think that Lover is probably a little bit more Libra. It's not
Hmm.
for everybody. Um,
Uh-huh.
but for those of us it's for, it's the best. Like we love it. It's phenomenal. I
Yeah.
also think Lover's a little bit more dynamic than people give it credit for, but I think really all Taylor albums are more dynamic than people give them credit for.
Hmm.
But that was sort of my thought process in this. And I thought for sure, I was like, okay, yeah, I can see why these two albums would be me.
Yeah.
They aren't necessarily my two favorite albums, but I
Uh-huh.
get it.
So you would be a Lover Moon and a Lover Rising
Yes.
and a Red Sun.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's cool. I like that.
Yes.
Plus you like both of those albums
I do.
a lot. Yeah.
Yes. I would say I like Lover more than I like Red. I think
Okay.
in general, maybe once more because I I wouldn't consider myself a late in life Swiftie, but because I got more into Taylor's music as I've gotten older,
Hmm.
I do think that I probably like love her a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah. Like you connect more with her later albums because of like when you became a hardcore Swiftie.
I don't even know that I would say connect more. I just think I think she's grown so much as an
Hmm.
artist. Like even if you listen to even the Taylor's versions, and sometimes I
Yeah.
like listening to original versions, but she is
Hmm.
just really grown up. And I think that's part of the fun is that as
Hmm.
millennials, we've grown up
Yeah.
alongside her to some extent.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay. Getting into heavy hitters. What is your favorite album?
So this was tough, but I do think in my opinion, there's kind of an obvious answer, and that is Folklore. Folklore is
Okay.
one of the albums that won Grammy of the Year for Album of the Year.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's one of those things that and I don't think COVID was particularly hard for me individually. I think it was tough for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think that it was the album we all needed in COVID to help
Yeah.
us um,
Yeah.
sort of get out of that funk. It was so different. I think lyrically, it is probably some of the best work that Taylor's ever done. And
Mm-hmm.
sonically, it was just so different. And I think it really showed her range. Obviously, she had went from country to more pop.
Mm-hmm.
And then Reputation really is its own work of many, many different kinds of genres, if you ask me. But
Mm-hmm.
Folklore was really, I think, her stepping out and doing something completely different. She says that in the Long Pond Sessions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would have to say Folklore.
Mm-hmm. It's a good choice.
It's a great choice.
What about your least favorite album?
So this I felt a little bad about because first off, everybody can say even a really bad Taylor album or a bad Taylor album is better than most music. It
Mm-hmm.
really is. But I went with Speak Now. I think
Mm-hmm.
that one, Taylor does better collaborating with people than probably anybody else. I think she likes that
Mm.
energy of working off of somebody.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's super impressive that she did all of Speak Now on her own at,
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember how old she would have been, but
I think she
20.
was like 19 when she wrote it.
Yeah. And I will say, When Emma Falls in Love is probably my favorite fall track. I love that
Really?
song so much.
Oh,
I don't know why, but
yeah.
I just do. But yeah, Speak Now is probably my least favorite.
Yeah. That's okay. We all have to have a least favorite album.
We
So,
do.
you know,
You don't get a favorite without a least favorite.
right. Exactly. And then what would be your top 5 songs as of today?
Okay. So as of today, I would say Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, which obviously is a lover track.
Mm-hmm.
The Last Great American Dynasty from Folklore. Getaway Car, which I thought once Taylor got her music back, slight sidebar, I thought Getaway Car was going to be like the new Cruel Summer. I thought it was going to have its
Right?
moment because to
Yeah.
me, it has it should have been a single
Mm-hmm.
from Reputation. That
Yeah.
probably would have gotten me right back on the Taylor train, the
Yeah.
Reputation train.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it didn't. I still think it's probably amongst Swifties very well loved and respected.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely underrated
Yeah.
amongst the public. Then The Fate of Ophelia, which I think is her best single she's put out. I,
Yeah.
I think I know we'll chat a little bit about Showgirl, but I think that The Fate of
Mm-hmm.
Ophelia lyrically is actually very, very good and top
Yeah.
notch and does all the things we would want it to do. I also
Mm-hmm.
think it's probably one of my favorite music videos she's done. Um,
Yeah. Me too.
was so cool, seeing that on the big screen. I actually did it at the drive-ins right here in Lehigh Valley. Shout out
Oh, nice.
to Becky's Drive-In.
Yeah. Shout out.
But a great viewing experience. And I would say my last favorite song is The Black Dog because I think the ultimate revenge against your ex is becoming uber famous and then writing a song about your ex's favorite bar pub that
Mm.
all of your fans will go to, and now you can never go to it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just love that. I think it's so smart and just, I don't know, it's kind of an earworm without being
Mm-hmm.
actually an earworm.
Yeah. The Black Dog is really, really high for me as well. And Getaway Car is probably in my top 5. And I believe The Black Dog she wrote entirely by herself.
I believe
Pretty
that.
sure. Yeah. It sounds like, especially with you picking Last Great American Dynasty, Getaway Car. What was the other first one you said?
Miss America and the Heartbreak Prince.
Yeah. I'm getting like strong Taylor Swift storytelling scene setting
Mm-hmm.
vibes,
Mm-hmm.
which she obviously does a lot. But
Yes.
I feel like those three songs especially are like heavy on that
Even,
writing.
yeah, and folklore in general is
Hmm.
great about that. But
Yeah. Nice. Are there any songs that you hate?
so hate is a strong word. Like I said, most Taylor Swift songs are better than other songs. But I do
Right.
not love I Don't Want to Live Forever. Maybe in part because I just don't like Zayn. Like,
Okay.
I feel like that's maybe it's just clouded my judgment. But I
Yeah.
feel like on every time I like just pull up a generic Spotify playlist, this song comes up. I'm like, why of all the song? Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's not like the world's worst song, but definitely not. Oh, and I never it was in what, 50 Shades of Grey? It was in something.
Yes. Yeah.
I never watched 50 Shades of Grey. Maybe that's part of it too.
Same. I was never big on that song either. I definitely started to enjoy it more during the Eras tour since she performed it,
Yeah.
but I probably prefer her Eras tour version of it. And even now, if I listen to that song, which I like more now than I used to, I think I kind of agree that like I wish it was just a Taylor Swift song.
Yep. Maybe I should listen to the Eras Tour version because then
Yeah.
Zayn would be
Right.
might be more
That's what like
enjoyable for me.
I hope that see, but we don't even know if she like recorded the vault tracks for Rep or not.
Yeah.
But we were all hoping that that would have been a track, like a vault track on Rep TV, like the same way she did like Babe and Better Man
Yeah.
on Red. So it would be nice if she did her own version of it by herself. But then again, she might have just brought Zayn back. Like if she was doing, if she was actually doing a Taylor's version of Reputation,
Yeah.
she might have invited Zayn back to do it.
I feel like, and this is maybe more the pop culture person in me than the music version of me coming out,
Hmm.
but she would have to ask Gigi if it was okay. Like, I feel like there'd be a lot of
Oh.
behind the scenes type
Hmm.
negotiating on that. And I think she probably would have just done it herself. I could be wrong.
Maybe.
Yeah. So that version I might like.
Yeah, you should check out the Eras Tour version. Because I remember being like, oh, yeah, this song's like really good.
Yeah.
Plus, I think
Okay.
she also did it mashed up with one song. I think she might have played it twice. Might have been one by itself and one mashed up.
Okay.
But don't quote me on it. But anyway.
I won't hold you to it.
Okay. Is there a Taylor song that feels uniquely personal to you, like she wrote it about your life?
So not a single song. Like I don't know that there's something I could point to and be like, this this is me. How did Taylor know?
Mhm.
With that being said, I think the reason why so many of us, especially those of us, in our 30s, can relate so much to Taylor and enjoy so much of her music is because we find at least bits and pieces of it so relatable. Like,
Yeah.
okay, for example, our song, which, like I said, I loved our song. The lyrics, staying up late and talking real slow because your mama don't know. Like, I remember being on the phone with my high school boyfriend and lowering my voice because it would be like 10 o'clock at night. Because at that point, with limited, phone minutes, so you had
Yes,
to call
yes.
somebody after 9, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to wake my parents up as I was talking to him. And then listening to Fearless and You Belong With Me and thinking to myself, having a male friend who had a girlfriend and being like, well, why doesn't he like me? instead of
Yeah.
instead of this girl who was like clearly really pretty and popular.
Right.
And then just going on that sort of path and 1989 being roughly when I was like at the age where I could go to the bars and, listening to Blank Space and Style
Mm-hmm.
and Wildish Dreams and being like, yeah, this is kind of like my life. So I don't know that there's a specific song, but I do think so much of like the emotions she writes about are so
Mm-hmm.
relatable. I would say up until really TTPD is not that relatable to me as somebody who at that time was,
Yeah.
you know, happily married and going through things. But even then, you can pick out certain lyrics and have maybe not empathy, but sympathy for what she was going through.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that, like, I couldn't imagine had I been her age and having a relationship fall out the way her relationship with Joe Alwyn fell out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and going through all of that. So I think that is kind of the beauty of Taylor Swift is that
Mm-hmm.
she writes about things that are deeply personal to all of us, whether or not
Yeah.
it's, you know, specific about our own individual lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. It is part of her magic for sure. Moving on to Showgirl. What are your honest thoughts? Where do you land? How did that album sit with you? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you think?
My Showgirl sticker is
Oh,
probably my
nice.
biggest one on
Yeah.
my water jug. Um, I love Showgirl. I think that it is so much fun and brings back like kind of that 1989 vibe. It's definitely the most poppy of all her albums, the most like
Mhm.
like maybe even the album that has the potential for the most singles in a really long time, the most mass appeal. I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think that's bad. I think it's kind of like the pumpkin spice latte of albums. Like
Right.
a lot of people like it. It tastes
Yeah.
good. You want to digest
Yeah.
it. I also think, like I said, CTPD, as much as like I can appreciate it as a work, as much as I am
Mhm.
fully there, fully love the album, it wasn't something that I personally could relate to. So I do feel like Showgirl is for those of us at this stage of our lives who are lucky enough to be, you know, in good relationships and have a great supportive partner.
Mhm.
And I will also say, because of that, the fact that it has more mass appeal, I think, than probably TTPD did. It's nice because, like, I'll play the songs in the car, and my husband's like, "Wait, can you play Opalite?" Versus,
Yeah.
if we were playing Tortured Poets Apartment, he would
Mhm.
listen. He'd put up with it. You have to if you're married to a Swiftie, but
Yeah.
I don't know that he would request a song if that makes
Right.
sense. And it's digestible, with 13 tracks. And you know
Mhm.
what? She loves it so much. Like
Right.
she was so happy about it and so excited. I do think maybe the downfall, and I shouldn't even say downfall because obviously it was very commercially successful. Most Swifties still enjoy the album.
Mhm.
And all of us, like I said, I would take another Speak Now if that's what was given to me, right? Even though it's
Yeah.
my least favorite album, but it was just that she was almost too excited for it. And I think people's expectations were we all had like our own version of what we wanted and what we were hoping it would be. And then when it wasn't
Yeah.
exactly that, I think people were disappointed, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Expectations versus reality. Yeah. And this is like something that I like in general, whether it's music or movies or TV, like any kind of art or whatever. I really wish people could do a better job of separating what they wanted from something versus what it is.
Yeah.
And just because something's not what you wanted it to be doesn't make it bad. Like you're free to say I wished it was something different. But can you also look at it for what it is and decide if it's good or bad, removed from what you wanted it to be? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that with now this is going back to me being a pretty avid reader, and you've become a fairly avid reader recently.
Yeah.
But book adaptations, it's
Hmm.
it's like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh well, it wasn't as good as the book because this is what we had in our brain of how like this character would be or look.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's like, well, they had to pick somebody, and this is who the
Yeah.
casting director thought was the best
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. But it's funny too, because doing these little Swiftie Sessions interviews I've been doing, the fate of Ophelia has come up a few times
Yeah,
as it being in someone's top 5 songs, which is very, very high praise, you
yeah,
know? And the majority of people I've spoken to love Showgirl,
really,
even if it's not their favorite album,
yeah.
they still really enjoy it, you know? I think it might have just been my friend Katie who was like, not for me. But even still, she was like, I'm not going to like hate on my girl. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't for me. That's okay.
Well,
You know?
I think that's the other reason why there's so many huge Taylor Swift fans is because she really is so diverse in what she puts out there.
Hmm.
So maybe Showgirl's not for Katie, but it is for some, for me or for
Yeah.
somebody else. But there's something else that is for her. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
a very different.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when an artist has a discography that ranges from folklore to the life of a showgirl,
Mhm.
you're going to have people who love one and not the other,
Yeah,
you know? And then there are
absolutely.
people like us who love both of them. So,
Yeah.
because we're special, but oh my gosh. Do you have a Swifty hot take?
Yeah. I don't love I love when she collabs in music making, but I don't love like her collabs with other artists vocally. Like
Okay.
I
Like a feature.
yes. I would say
Mhm.
most collabs are probably skips for me. And not it's not even that I think she picks bad artists to collab
Mhm.
with. Like sometimes they're phenomenal. Lana Del Rey, like if they could collab and I'd be happy all the time. Florida, great song. Very, very
Mhm.
catchy. This isn't like but a lot of the times I'm like, whatever. Like
Yeah.
even for people who I like individually, like Chris Stapleton, like or Keith
Uh-huh.
Urban, I'm like, I don't need to hear you on a Taylor Swift song.
Right.
I'd rather just hear Taylor.
Yeah. I think I I don't know. I was going to say I think I might be neutral on her collabs, but it might be neutral in the sense that like half of the collabs I love and the other ones I could do without.
Yeah,
But I think I'm kind of the opposite almost, where it's like a lot of times these people that she chooses, I love having them on the song with Taylor, but I don't like that artist's music
individually. Yeah,
individually enough to like listen to it.
yeah,
Florence and the Machine, that would be an example of like just not for me,
yeah,
but I love Florida and I
yeah.
love her on that. And like Nothing New with Phoebe Bridgers is one of my favorite Taylor songs, and I love her voice on that. But Phoebe Bridgers by herself, I am struggling so hard to get into. I don't know. There's something wrong with my brain.
Well, yeah. I mean, even yeah, we might be the opposite then because like, and I'm if I'm remembering correctly, The Life of a Showgirl was not you or Laura's favorite song,
Yeah, I think we both put it as our least favorite on the album.
but and I definitely feel like I love Sabrina Carpenter. I'm really sad I haven't seen her in
Yeah.
concert yet, but like,
But in that sense, I love Sabrina by herself.
yeah,
And I think she does a beautiful job. For me, it's just the song
yes,
on that one. It's
I
not about
agree.
Sabrina
Yeah.
or anything. Yeah. That was just unfortunate. An unfortunate use of Sabrina. Although I fully agree with why she chose Sabrina, and I think Sabrina is a perfect choice for that song.
Yeah.
I need a Taylor song featuring Sabrina that I love, and it's not that
Yes.
song. You know what I mean?
Maybe we'll get a Sabrina song featuring Taylor, which actually would be really fun to listen
Yeah.
to. Just a different vibe.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's got to happen at some point.
Yeah. I will also say, and this is probably another sort of hot take, I think Taylor
Hmm.
dresses a lot better than people give her credit for. Like, I
Listen, she
actually,
dresses better than I would be.
like, I actually really enjoy seeing what she's wearing. I'm not saying that there aren't
Hmm.
misses. There
Right.
are. But there are
Yeah.
a lot of like really cute, fun outfits. I'm like, look,
Hmm.
if the girl is happy in what she's wearing and she looks confident and she feels
Yeah.
good, that's what's important. Like,
Hmm.
so I'm
Yeah.
going with that too. She gets too much hate for her outfits.
Definitely. One of my favorite recent outfits of hers was that day that she recently went into Electric Lady Studios
Oh,
and then
yeah.
didn't come out until like 6 a.m., which apparently she was there for a birthday party for Rachel Antonoff. But she came
Yep.
out with the Haim sisters. But that outfit that she wore with like the jeans and this like top, and everyone
Yep.
was saying like her face card was lethal that day for
Mm-hmm.
the paparazzi.
Yeah.
She looks so good.
She did.
Yeah, I really like that. But yeah, I agree.
Was the Stevie Nicks shirt at the Knicks game a little cheesy? Sure, but it was fun, you know?
And it was like, that's like peak Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I love
just
that.
let her go. You know, what was she supposed to wear? A Knicks jersey?
I know. Right. Yeah. Um, is there an underrated song you would defend with your life?
Yeah. And I feel like this is probably an unpopular opinion too. But speaking of the Haim sisters, No Body, No Crime, which
Okay.
I know also contradicts what I literally just said about the
It's true.
collabs.
Yeah.
One, I do think to your earlier point, Sarah, I do like a lot of the Taylor songs that tell stories, right? Like I love to read books. I love that aspect of things.
Hmm.
I also, as a kid growing up, loved Goodbye Earl by the Chicks. And
Okay.
I feel like this song is basically a different version of Goodbye Earl, but similar in concept.
Hmm.
And I like the idea that my friends would do anything for me if I needed them to in this instance.
Yeah.
But I think it's so catchy. I think it's a great story. I like, kind of the twists and turns of it. And the fact that she can do this all in a couple minute song
Yeah.
is very interesting. Even like them going to Olive Garden, like that. So you're setting a very specific kind of middle class,
Hmm.
two women of a certain age gathering.
Yeah. Like middle America.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
And she does it all by saying Olive Garden, and a
Right.
glass of wine. It's just, I think, genius.
Yeah. I have to tell you about that song. We mentioned the Knicks game where she was with the Haim sisters. And when all that was happening, Josh was like, "Who are these ladies with Taylor?" So I was like, "Oh, they're the Haim sisters. Like they have a band." Taylor's like really good friends with them. So then, like a day or two goes by, and then Josh comes up to me with "No Body, No Crime" pulled up on his phone. He was like, "You didn't tell me that those sisters wrote this song." And I was like, first of all, they didn't write this song. It's a Taylor song and they're featured on it. And he was like, "Well, why didn't you tell me about this song? This song is amazing." So He's like, it would be like the song that plays at like the end of a TV show or something, or end of a movie when you find out there's been like infidelity, whatever. He's like, it's so good. So that has been Josh's hyperfixation song for the last like couple weeks. So if we're like in the car and he's in charge of music, he typically plays that one at least once.
So funny.
And I'm like, yeah, it's from Evermore, my favorite album. I'm sure I've probably played it for you before.
At least on vinyl. Right.
Like, yeah. But yeah, he's a big fan. So.
Oh, that's so great. Because I feel like it's probably, like I said, underrated. I feel like that's probably not a song that's on a lot of other people's list.
Yeah. Honestly, as an Evermore stan, it is pretty low for me.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy it when it's on.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like in my like least favorite Taylor Swift songs or anything.
Yeah.
It's more like middle of the road for me, I'd say. But yeah, that's a good one though. And what song do you wish would have been added to the Eras Tour set list?
So, in all honesty, I wish I would have gotten the one in the last Korean American Dynasty, which you would have gotten as somebody that saw the Eras Tour in the US. Because I did not at the time when the Eras Tour was announced, I didn't have any really good friends who were Swifties. I was like, I'm just not going to end up going to this concert because I'm not going to go by myself.
Yeah.
And one, that was a mistake. I should have just bought tickets and forced my husband to come along, or just seen if somebody else would have came along with me. And I really regretted it. And then I was looking at, I didn't do pre-sale. Then I was looking at ticket sale costs. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I can't spend, thousands of dollars at this moment to do it. Then I was watching a girl I went to college with was at the Paris show. And I'm watching her stories. And I went to Saka. I was like, I'm going. I'm like, I'm making this happen. We were gonna, we love to travel. So we were planning on trying to do a trip anyway. So I'm like, we're going to go to Europe so I can see Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And managed to, at that point, I had connected with actually a fellow Army wife. Shout out to Melissa, who went to the Eras Tour with me. She actually flew over to Munich by herself and met up with Zach and I while we were there. And I'm really glad I got to see TTPD. Like, that is a cool experience that
I didn't get that.
Yeah. So it's hit or miss, but if I could have had the last Great American Dynasty and the one is definitely one of my favorite songs. And I could have had both of them had I just went in the US. But it is what it is.
Well,
Again,
was it Invisible String that she was singing at the very, very beginning, and then she and Joe broke up and she changed it to The One?
Oh, I do not know.
I'm going to fact check. What? Hold, please. Okay, so yeah, she originally was doing Invisible String.
Okay.
And then on March 31st, 2023, she switched it to The One. And fans widely speculated this was a purposeful hint at her split from Joe Alwyn as she dropped the optimistic love song for a bittersweet breakup track. And that means that she only performed Invisible String a few times.
Yeah.
Because that was probably like 2 weeks into tour that she changed it. Crazy.
Yeah.
The lore surrounding this tour is absolutely wild.
Well, even like speaking of TTPD and I Can Do It With a Broken Heart then, and talking about like she really was doing it with a broken heart, and we were all like, give us more. And this poor girl gave us a lot.
I know. She really did.
It's crazy.
Oh, well, and Laura and I always talk about how Matty Healy was at our show. He
Was
performed
he
with
really?
Phoebe Bridgers. Yeah, because
Oh,
Phoebe was an
wow.
opener.
Yeah.
So he was performing with her as part of her band. He was there. And then that's when Nothing New was a part of the set list because Phoebe was there. So we were both really glad to have that.
When was the show? July?
May of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Okay, so moving on, what song do you want a 10-minute version of?
So Long London. Because,
Okay.
and I think this is probably one of the songs on TTPD that we could definitely say is a Joe song. At
Hmm.
least in my opinion, it's definitely a Joe
Yeah,
song.
we agree. Yeah.
And that part of her life is just so mysterious to all of us, even now. We all speculate, but look, and I'm not saying I'm a Joe Alwyn fan to any stretch that means, but there's a reason why she was with him for as long as she was with him, right? Like you
Hmm.
don't stay with somebody for that many years of your life if
Yeah.
if it's insignificant, right? So
Hmm.
I think if we could just get a little bit more, a 10-minute version of that,
Hmm.
it would fill in some of the knowledge gaps that at least I feel like I have on their
Hmm.
relationship. And I just love the song anyway.
Hmm.
I think it's just so, well, so sad, so lyrical. Like I said, TTPD really is it's a masterpiece in its own regard.
Yeah.
I just want to know more.
Yeah.
I don't want to see pictures of him with Sarah Pigeon everywhere. I just want to know more.
Yeah. Oh,
But
well,
yeah,
I guess Joe needs to also live his life. So,
yeah.
but yeah, it's 10-minute version of So Long London. Plus, it's already long. I think it's already like a 5-minute song. So it would lend itself well to just being extended, especially with like Aaron's production on that song would be really interesting to see where else they might take it.
And even the metaphor of it is so good and beautiful. And London is kind of like a place where it's neat if it's overcast. Like it just works so well.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. So I had asked you if there was a specific lyric or song you wanted to zoom in on to chat about, and you gave me this one.
I love New Romantics. I also feel like this is kind of in the camp of Getaway Car, where
Okay.
I feel like Swifties know about this song and appreciate this song,
Mm,
but
yeah.
it's not as widely known about and appreciated as I think it should be. It is one of those songs that I'm like, oh, I just want to dance. I just want to go out with my friends. It brings me right back to being like, almost like 23, 24 when it came out and just
Hmm.
wanting to like listen to it. But this is just Taylor Swift songwriting at its best. Building a castle, which
Uh-huh.
I don't even know if it was purposely done this way, right? But right, there's a castle in the Blank Space music video. All of the bricks that were thrown at her at that time, like she really was being put through the ringer. It was Taylor Swift who, for all intents and purposes, like never did anything that scandalous, right?
Right.
But was just taking hit after hit after hit. It didn't matter what she did. And Miss Americana, she said, it's like, you have too many boyfriends. Okay, well, like, now I'm going to focus on my friends. And she focuses
Right.
on her friends. And they're like, oh, they're a clique. They're a girl gang. They don't, like, I don't know that
Hmm.
anybody's ever described Taylor Swift as being cliquey. Like, you are allowed to
Hmm.
have a group of friends. It doesn't make you.
Right.
a bad person at the
Yeah.
same time. Like,
Also, would a cliquey person have 1,000 guests at her wedding?
right? Like, I literally think she probably went to Travis and was like, can we just have our brothers stand beside us? Because we have too many friends that if we were to
No,
have a true
seriously.
bridal party, like, what,
That
you
makes
can't have,
perfect sense to me.
yeah, 30
Yeah.
bridesmaids. I mean, come on. So I just think, one, like I said, I love the metaphor of it all, but two, the song is just great. It's
Yeah.
definitely one that I wish would have more light publicly.
Yeah. I also think it's funny in light of the wedding and like all the hate she's been getting for her wedding, which is like insane. And then there are rumors that part of the set that they built was like a castle.
Yeah. Well, how can you get hate for a wedding when people don't even know what it was like? Like, it's just
Right?
so frustrating to me.
That's a good point. It's like we barely know anything about this wedding, and people have still found 1,000 things to nitpick about it.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they were so generous with all of the charities and included one even from Reading, Pennsylvania.
Right. Yeah.
The fact that Madison Square Garden, like, they contract out to the police. So, like, she was paying for the police to be there. She wasn't using public,
Hmm.
like, taxpayer resources. I even heard that they were using generators just because of the heat wave, like, to
Oh,
ensure
okay.
that the power they needed for the wedding wouldn't end up impacting the
Oh,
city. Like,
uh
I
huh.
really feel like she went above and beyond to,
Yeah.
like, make sure that everything was great, and nobody else would do that.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
That's the thing.
yeah,
It doesn't matter what she does, people are always going to find something to complain
yeah.
about and criticize her for. Yeah.
And,
Ugh.
like, looking at it from the perspective of she was able to buy her master's back, you know,
Hmm.
by re-recording her albums, doing the Eras tour. Like, she was able to build her own castle. Like, it just,
Yeah.
huh,
It's also very like, thank you, Amy. Like, it is such a Taylor Swift lyric of like the way she lives her life. And like
yeah,
you mentioned, blank space. Oh, everyone's going to, you know, criticize me and make fun of me for how many boyfriends I have and stuff. I'm going to write a song about it
yep,
that's satire. But now that song is like my biggest hit and has made me even more rich and famous. I can
yep,
build this castle. Like everything, everything that, you know, has caused some hardship in her career, she has been able to spin it and make it like a superpower,
yeah,
which is really impressive.
no,
So,
it is.
yeah.
And I think Blank Space is Travis's favorite song or one of them.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah. And then on the handkerchiefs that they gave out that were like embroidered, it said, so it's going to be forever,
Yeah,
which is a lyric from Blank Space,
yeah.
which is really cute. Okay. So for TS13, her next album, what are you hoping to get from that? Like whether it's sound or lyrics, like what are you thinking?
So I really don't know. I would just be happy to get it. With that being said, based on some of the news reports we got recently about Andrea meeting with country execs, I believe that was like a
Oh,
week or two ago. And
oh,
based on I Know What I Knew You, I wonder if
yeah,
we're getting a country album.
maybe. I mean, TS13 going back to her roots in that way could make sense.
Yeah, I think I would be down for that. I don't know. And I'm not a huge country music fan at this point in my life, but, like,
Hmm.
I think that if Taylor did it, one, Taylor's not a traditional country artist. Um,
Hmm.
but I think if we got kind of the sonically debut style sound versus with folklore, TTPD songwriting, like, that would be
Hmm.
a good album. I'd be down for it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really would go with anything. know that this isn't going to happen, but I almost wish that her next big move would be to tour again. I don't think that's going to happen,
Hmm.
but if we're just
Yeah.
making a wish list, I'd love to see Showgirl in concert,
Hmm.
but who knows
Yeah.
if we'll get that.
I'm sure her next tour will just be whatever albums she has put out
Yeah.
because she's done the Eras tour. She knows she
Yeah.
can tour multiple albums together.
Right.
So, yeah, maybe it's going to be Showgirl, TS13, and TS14.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I just hope that the Eras tour wasn't her last tour. I don't think it will be, but
I
who
don't
knows?
think it will be. I think she was very clear that she needs time. She needs
Yeah.
a rest and a break, but she will be touring again because I think she still genuinely loves it. It's like a huge part of her career that she still loves.
You don't put yourself through all of that without loving it. Like,
Hmm.
at least to some
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah. Who's an artist you're enjoying a lot right now that you think other Swifties would appreciate?
I'm going to say Ella Langley, which I know I said I wasn't. I keep contradicting myself this whole time, but just, a very complex person, right? Being
Yeah.
an Aries Libra. um, but I'm going to say Ella Langley because one, I just feel like a lot of her song, whether or not I actually relate to it, I'm like, I can relate to the emotions that she's singing
Mm,
about. Even
mhm.
choosing Texas, right? Like, obviously, I've never been in that exact situation. I've never
Yeah.
lived, in Tennessee and like lost somebody to a Texan female. But at the same token,
Mhm.
I'm like, I can relate to those emotions that they're going through. Also, I'm pretty sure Ella writes her own music,
Mhm.
which I don't know, I think is probably hit or miss for people. Yeah, I
Mhm.
just enjoy it. It's the kind of music that I can put on and cook to and dance to in my kitchen and want to sing along with, which is what Taylor does
Mhm.
for me
Yeah.
on so many levels. I will
Yeah.
also say that I have given the Olivia Rodrigo album a listen at
Yeah.
this point. This isn't new. I think a lot of people who like both, even though they might not like each other, but
Mhm.
Olivia's very good at what she does,
Yeah.
and she's writing really good music right now, which I
Mhm.
will appreciate. I feel like we've gotten a lot of really good music recently.
Yeah, we have. I'm glad you brought up Ella Langley because I love Ella Langley, and I mean, I like country music, but I'm very s like, picky about what I like,
Yeah,
and I'm surprised by how much I love her music because she is so country, but I love it. Like, I think I would describe Ella Langley's music as it makes me feel like I live inside of a Texas roadhouse in the best way possible. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but, like, and I don't know if you're aware that, like, some people are trying to, like, cancel her for, like, political reasons, like,
no,
saying that she's, like, MAGA by association, and I'm like, until something terrible comes out of her mouth,
yeah,
you can pry her out of my cold, dead hands because she has done wonders for my mental health in the last few months.
yeah. And that's so hard. Like, I think people tell us what they want, you know, what they want us to know, but they're gonna hide. She's a country artist. She's not gonna like isolate the whole
Right.
mega universe. Like,
Right. And also, like, so one of the things that people are saying is because she did, or she was supposed to do the Kid Rock Music Festival. And the thing is, there are a million artists that were slotted to do that festival. And this is where my alarm bells get raised because I'm like, why are we singling out Ella Langley for
I
participating in this? And it's because she's the up and coming female artist right now.
yeah. I also feel like her. team probably agreed to do things a long time ago before she was
Mm-hmm.
blowing up that maybe
True.
she wouldn't
Yeah.
have agreed to do now. Even the fact that, like, at Stagecoach, she was a daytime performer, she
Yes.
probably could have headlined Stagecoach this
Mm-hmm.
year or been one of the, you know, nighttime performers at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
But
No,
yeah.
I tried to get tickets to her tour that just went on sale in the last couple weeks because she's playing in State College in PA.
Oh, okay.
And my plan going in was like, I don't know who's going to go with me, but I'm just going to try to buy 2 tickets and whether I drag Josh with me or grab a friend, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I get in there and there's over 100,000 people ahead of me in the Ticketmaster queue. Okay. And so then I get in there and it's basically sold out except for a couple random seats. And they were all like $200 a seat.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I guess I'm not doing that.
Yeah. And if it was the Bryce Jordan Center, which I'm assuming is what it was, which is the arena in State College,
Probably. Uh-huh.
like that thing only fits under 20,000. I think it's like
I
people.
know. Like when I saw 100,000, I was like, oh, I'm not getting a ticket. This is
Yeah.
insane. Um, listen, the people yearn for live music. After the Eras tour, like, I mean, Noah Khan, Gracie Abrams, like, it's been like impossible to get tickets to anybody.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
God.
I'm going to Taylor Swift's wedding venue to see Harry.
Oh,
And
okay.
like the fact that my friend was able to get pre-sale, it's like, because I was in the same situation. We were all trying to do it.
Hmm.
There's no way I'm going to be able to get tickets. Thank God she did. I was so excited. Made my whole day.
Yeah, that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I love Ella Langley. I was trying to get my dad into her because he likes he likes kind of old school country
Yeah.
kind of stuff. He has a genre that my mom calls his cowboy music, and I've developed what I call my cowgirl music,
Okay.
and that's what she falls into. But yeah, I don't know, like her Alabama accent. And there's something so catchy about her songs. They just put me in a good mood. I agree. It's like if I'm like cleaning the house
Yeah.
and I just want some music, right now I'm putting on Ella Langley
Yeah.
and it makes me want to just like line dance around.
Yeah.
You
There
know?
is something about maybe it's like almost like Shania Twain esque or something. Like it's just like
Mm,
it just brings back those feelings of like
yeah.
back when I really did enjoy country music.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh yeah, this.
Yeah.
But I just like her.
Yeah. I think she's fun.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. Shout out to Ella. Um okay, well, I think that's it. So, we covered it all. Thank you so much for doing this and taking the time to, join me and chat about Taylor.
Yeah, it was
And
so much fun.
also, good luck with your new baby coming soon.
Thank you.
Crazy times ahead for you.
I'll probably be digging in even more to the Patreon, which shout out to the Patreon,
Mhm.
everybody.
Aw, thank
Listen
you.
to some songs or descriptions of songs that we haven't gotten on the main feed. And I will also say, I think you guys are pretty good about like taking requests and asking what
Mhm.
people want to hear from. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Patreon perk, if I will.
Yeah, definitely.
But with being up with late night feedings and stuff, but I'm just really excited
Yeah.
and I'm glad we got to do this. This was fun. It's fun to talk about
Yeah,
Taylor with people who actually want to talk about Taylor versus, your husband
I
that just
know.
puts up with it.
I know. Yeah, they have to put up with a lot from us, but
We have to put up with a lot from them.
that is true. That is true, especially the line of work that our husbands are in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we've chatted about that as well.
Yeah.
So, we'll keep that for off the pod. But yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And if you'd like to support the pod, please give us a follow at Blank Plate Pod on TikTok and Instagram. And please subscribe to our channel on YouTube, which is where you can also find our reaction videos. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers so that we can monetize. So even if you never watch us over there, please go over and hit subscribe. It'll help us out a lot. And if you'd like to get in touch, please reach out via email at blankplatepod@gmail.com, or you can text us or leave us a voicemail at 717-382-8313. And as Brittany mentioned, we also have our Patreon, which is where we do a monthly bonus episode focusing on Taylor's older songs. So you please consider supporting us over there. And until next time, we had the time of our lives with you. And it's time to go. And thanks again to Brittany. So bye.
Bye.